People who stay single long term often do so because their inner psychology leans toward independence, emotional balance, and a lifestyle that gives them uninterrupted space to think, grow, and live on their own terms, rather than because they lack opportunities for relationships. For many of these individuals, singlehood becomes a conscious, empowered choice, shaped by years of observing themselves, understanding their emotional needs, and recognizing what brings them genuine peace. They are usually introspective, thoughtful, and highly sensitive to emotional disturbance, which means they quickly notice when a relationship begins to feel overwhelming, restrictive, or misaligned with their values. Instead of forcing themselves to adjust, they choose the simplicity and stability of being alone. Some people grew up in environments where relationships were full of shouting, manipulation, or silent tension, and as adults, their nervous system unconsciously associates commitment with stress, so staying single feels safer and more predictable. Others were raised to be self-sufficient, learning early in life how to rely on themselves for comfort, entertainment, and motivation, which eventually turns solitude into something they genuinely enjoy rather than fear. Many singles also prioritize personal goals, career, education, creative work, fitness, travel, or self-improvement, because these pursuits give them a sense of purpose that a relationship may not necessarily enhance. They may look at modern relationships filled with high expectations, emotional labor, communication demands, and compromises, and decide that the emotional cost is greater than the benefit. At the same time, they are not against love. They simply refuse to settle for a connection that feels half-hearted, unstable, or disrespectful. High standards and strong boundaries often guide their choices. They want emotional maturity, honesty, consistency, and genuine compatibility, not just attention or temporary affection. Many long-term singles are introverts who recharge by being alone and find too much emotional intimacy overwhelming, while others enjoy meeting new people but prefer to remain unattached to preserve their freedom. Psychological research also shows that people who stay single tend to develop a deep relationship with themselves. They understand their emotions, process their thoughts clearly, and maintain a lifestyle that protects their mental health. They don't fear loneliness because their days are filled with meaningful routines, supportive friends, fulfilling work, and personal growth. They often reject societal pressure that says marriage or relationships are necessary for a complete life, choosing instead to define happiness on their own terms. For them, singlehood is not an absence, it is a space filled with clarity, autonomy, calm, creativity, and self-respect. And unless a relationship genuinely adds value to this space, they prefer to remain exactly where they are.